What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Leave It to the Judges MMA show. Guys, I'm with the boys, Xavier and Nicholas. Today, guys, we are going to be doing a UFC 315 recap and reactions. I think the card definitely over exceeded our expectations and the expectations of the people. It was a great card. There's fun stuff happening all over it, but let's start at the tippy top. We got a lot of things to talk about with this main event. JDM wins a unanimous decision victory over Belal Muhammad. One of the best welterweight title fights we've seen in a minute. It was a great fight, one of the best fights of the year so far. Pretty back and forth. JDM gets his hand raised in the end. I know you guys have a lot to say, so the floor is yours, guys.
All right, first of all, let me give JDM his motherfucking props, man. There's gonna be some hating in this video, but like right now we're not starting with that. Right now we're congratulating, man. Shout out JDM for breaking through against the odds, I would say. He was an underdog here, like not huge, but like pretty decently, and I think for good reason. I think coming into this fight there was a lot of questions about his takedown defense specifically. We knew that he had the striking advantage over Belal on the feet, and strangely enough, the fight just played right into his hands. I think that Belal here kind of like let the fucking crowd and the general media get into his head. He kind of bought into the hype of like trying to be a more interesting fighter. When he said that he was just gonna he wasn't gonna really shoot that many takedowns, he was really gonna box JDM. We all thought that that was bullshit. We even all said as much on the preview vid, and like obviously against probably everyone's wishes in his camp, I would imagine like that shit is what he actually ended up doing, and it cost him here. I thought that JDM's takedown defense looked decent, but I thought that it wasn't as tested as it could have been, and that any other version of Bilal I've seen over the past 5 years would have like made it. Actually, he did start to wean on his gas tank a little bit in like round 4 and 5, but like he seems to have that like if he rocks you, he does have that like adrenaline burst to like go and chase a finish, and I will give him that. Like we've seen the same thing in the Gilbert Burns fight. Like he kind of looked like he was gassed in that fight too, until he got his moment, and like he is like one to like he is dangerous late, even if he looks gassed. He does have that like that comeback cardio to him, that adrenaline dump cardio. So shouts out to him, man. New fucking champ, more exciting champ, and short-lived champ because my boy fucking Islam M going up there, taking that strap and establishing his goddamn dominance. Actually gonna wrestle. I think that what. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was Khabib in Bilal's corner last fight against Leon, or did he just train him? Was he in his corner too?
I think he just trained him.
I don't think. I don't think he trained him this time, bro. I don't think he trained him this time because Khabib would have been on his fucking ass. Russell. And this camp clearly was not based around that. And this is what happens when you let Belal play grab ass with whoever he trains with in Chicago, man. Like, literally, I mean, it is what it is. This is great for my Islam agendas, but for his agendas, like, which, to be very clear, I've never been pushing Belal agendas, but for his agendas, he needs to get back in there with Khabib and them, especially now that, like, him and Islam don't need to fight. Like he needs to tap back in with Khabib because whatever he's doing, bro, is not it, bro. It is not it. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for now, man. I'll give Clark the floor, but shout out to JDM, man. Fuck you, Bilal. The one time I bet on you, you fucking put a shitter out like that, like awful. But shout out to JDM.
Yeah, you basically nailed it. I'll start by saying good fight by JDM. He looked sharp on the feet, definitely came prepared. The footwork was very clean. I was impressed by the late comeback as well. I felt like he was losing the fight in that fifth round and came back with a nice combo. I don't exactly remember. Was it a knee? Like left hook? I don't remember the exact combo, but he definitely wobbled Belal. almost knocked him down at one point. Pretty great rally, so I'll give him credit there. The takedown defense, let me just say, it says here Belal shot 9 attempts Saturday night. I'm going to have to watch this fight back.
I saw 7 at most, bro. Some of those were not real attempts. They were just like fake the leg, trying to force a clinch type shits, bro.
Like, yeah, is a clinch considered a takedown attempt now? Because, like, if that's the case, then it is 9. But I only saw really 4 to 5. I felt at best. And I will give JDM his credit. It looked a lot better. I thought he was using his hands very well to break up Belal's hands. And that one takedown where Belal almost basically had him all the way around, about to pick him up, but JDM was able. But by that point, it was too late. Like, I think the big story of this fight is Belal just did not come in with the game plan that made him the champion. To all these fighters, like, do what got you the belt, what you're very good at. And he decided to choose the path of, let's have a boxing match with Jack Della Maddalena, who's supposed to be the best boxer in the UFC, but I'll be honest, over the course of this fight, I thought it was very close. Like, JDM was definitely, I think, the crispier striker, but I feel like we all knew that going into it, and I didn't feel like Belal executed his usual game plan enough to, like, make a difference. By the time, he did not chew for the first 2.5 rounds.
He lost.
He shot a takedown every single round. On the official things, he shot a takedown every single round.
There's no way he shot one in round 1, right? In round 1, he shot.
Yes, he shot it. There was a recorded takedown.
I
didn't see it, man.
I do not recall this, but I'll be honest, didn't shoot much for the first 3 rounds of the fight, and by the time he did, I mean, JDM was already in flow state. He was already sweaty as fuck. It was just going to be hard to get him down. And so, I don't know. I was impressed by JDM striking, but I knew I would be. Like, if this is where we were going to be.
Facts.
I mean, good win on JDM, though. Definitely defined the odds. I'll give him that credit. Great comeback. I had a 2-2 going into that last round. I'm hearing, MMA Guru saying a possible 5-0. Like,
yeah, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
He said possible. I don't think that's what he had it as, but he said it was possible. But the way the fight was going, I felt like JDM was crisp in 1 and 2, looking very good. And then Belal started gaining, confidence as the fight went along. Definitely picked up the pace. And that was one thing also. Like, where was Belal's pace in this fight? He kind of let JDM control the space, control the distance the whole time. Like,
but you're just saying it like Belal just let him do that. Like JDM had no part of him imposing his will. It's not just Belal throwing the fight.
I agree.
The fight, but the IQ is piss poor. And
yeah, I'm not saying like he should have like
mixed in takedowns, bro.
Yeah.
The whole thing with Belal, my bad, Clark. But the whole thing with Belal that makes him strong, right, is not that he has the most dominant wrestling. It's not that he has the best striking. It's the fact that he's always forward. He's always mixing in the takedowns to break up your striking, which makes his boxing look better by like proxy, right? And I think that, like Clark said, his takedown, the reason that maybe you're saying that he might have tried to shoot takedowns that maybe we're not giving him credit for is because was it really, I feel like half of his takedowns were like either panic little like half shots that like JDM just kind of shucked off because it's like it's in open space. He's just kind of reaching for the legs because he's kind of getting pieced a little bit. It's more of that than like the oh, like, and there were times that like Belal was backing him up. He got near the side of the octagon, force a clinch, break up the striking rhythm, like force some damn energy to be used by JDM and not where he's not just striking where he's comfortable. Like clearly, even in the striking. In a basically 2 round striking fight, like we saw in round 3, JDM started to gas a little bit, and that's what allowed Belal to start like taking control of the fight more so. Whereas like, but he was already down 2 rounds at that point, and like obviously all he needed was the last round to win. So it's like bad IQ. It's just bad IQ. Like I'm not gonna say that like JDM didn't do good to mostly keep his back from against the cage, mostly stay out at distance where Bilal did not have as many opportunities to push him to force him to the fence. I'll give him that. He was good at circling towards the middle of the cage and shit, but like outside of that, like you're taking it like we're trying to discredit JDM, and like we're not. We're trying to shit on Bilal for like actually not fighting the fight that he should have fought, and not fighting the fight that, moreover, the fight that he's fought to get him to this point. Like it just
I
makes no sense that when you have such a clear advantage in an area, why are you fighting the opponent where he's best the whole fucking fight?
I think the Muhammad that fought and beat Leon, JDM would beat that guy too. Is that crazy to say?
No, but like I wanted to see that strategy, right? Like just that game plan. He did not do that kind of game
Off
plan.
of what I'm seeing, that is kind of crazy to see Ed say, because at the end of the day, he got damn near like Bilal went tit for tat with him in the striking for the most part. Like that is the most underrated part of this, and we're shitting on Bilal so much
Exactly.
for actually doing what the fans wanted him to do, and actually fighting a more exciting fight. Just because like I was really impressed with Bilal striking. Actually, he did way better than I thought he would. I thought he would have got knocked the fuck out if he stayed on the feet, and he didn't. But at the end of the day, was that the smartest path when it comes to like retaining your title or winning the fight? Like, no, we can't argue it was like, and he came like half a round away from winning that fight. If JDM did not have that late surge and beat the shit out of him late, he would have lost that fight on 2 of the judges' scorecards. Like the proof is in the pudding. It was 2-2 going into the last round on 2 of the
Yeah,
judges' scorecards.
just for the
And
judges' scorecards, though.
I'm saying, and in the beginning of the round, Bilal was damn near dominating that round. It looked like it was fucked for him until he turned it around and like beat the shit out of Bilal down the stretch. Which credits to him, not like taking anything away from him for that. That's like testament to his grit, testament to his comeback cardio, right? But at the end of the day, like you can't say that like had he mixed the takedowns in, that would not have helped him more so. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand how you can argue that.
No, it would have helped him more, but like
And I'm saying he barely beat him now. I'm saying
you guys are starting to overrate Bilal's wrestling a little bit, bro. I feel like with my argument with the Leon fight, first of all, Leon lost the fight 3-2. He won 2 rounds, almost finished him in the 5th. A lot of people say JDM won 4-1. I get what you're saying. It looked close on the feet. Bilal was landing nice shots, but none of those shots had near the amount of weight that JDM strikes had.
I agree, but he was putting more volume in the later rounds. That's
he was
what
marching. He
made
was
it
marching
Also-
forward more.
In the later rounds where Bilal's supposed to drown everybody, that's where JDM thrived and stuffed all of his takedowns for the most part until round 5, where he got up from 2 takedowns and beat the shit out of Bilal.
No, look, I was impressed, man. Like, I'm not trying to shit on JDM.
I know,
It's just like
We're not trying to spit on him.
Ed.
Ed's getting so defensive. I swear.
No, wait,
Because
Ed. I do not like.
We're not the
Belal
enemy,
Muhammad
Ed. Yeah, we don't
whatsoever. I do not like him, and I want to be more happy about this than I am
Exactly.
because I wanted him to be beaten at his own game. You know, I'm happy he lost. Like, you know, finally, this man is not the champion. Like, I thought it would take a little longer, but remember the rain. There was none. So, I just wanted him to be beat at his best, and I felt like he wasn't at his best. But he did fight well. JDM did beat a tough guy in front of him who kept coming forward. Like, he won the fight, man. He's the champion. Like, I'm not taking a lot away from him, but I still think question marks should be there for the takedown defense. I don't think they were 100% answered. especially against a guy like Islam Makhachev. And the real answer is Shavkat Rakhmonov. We're running through everybody, but we gotta wait for this Islam fight first. But he's about to go up against those guys. Is he ready for those guys, Ed?
I mean, is Shavkat all of a sudden a better? I get the Islam shit, totally get the Islam stuff, but is Shavkat all of a sudden a better wrestler than Belal? Is that what we're saying?
He's just a
I'm not saying that.
fighter.
I'm not saying that.
How are
I'm
you
not
putting
saying
that much?
either. But I think he's a better jiu-jitsu guy and submission artist, finish artist, better on the feet.
He's better at controlling opponents on the ground for sure. Bilal's never been a control merchant. See, the thing is this. But okay, Ed, like you said, right? You think that we're overrating Bilal's wrestling all of a sudden, right? We've never said that Belal was the best wrestler, but the thing is, the attack and the drowning is always there though. The fact is, Belal is gonna, much to the dismay of the fans, shoot fucking 30 takedowns in a fight. He's not gonna control any of them for shit, but it's gonna be that constant like breaking up your rhythm. Oh, now I'm gonna shoot a takedown, force you against the cage. You may defend it, but now we're in the clinch. Rabbit punch, rabbit punch. It's what makes him boring, but it's what wins him fights, and that's not what we just saw at all.
But you guys are just acting like Belal just went in there like an idiot, and JDM's game plan had no part of him not being able to complete or shoot takedowns. Like, and also, if we're talking about Shavkat and like this fight for JDM not proving anything for JDM, what the fuck did Shavkat's fight prove against Ian Gary, bro?
Hey, Ed, they were friends, man. They were friends. They were having a friendly little fight.
I guess why I'm so like defensive about this is going up to the fight. No, I'm not just targeting you guys, but pretty much everyone picked Belal Muhammad. They mentioned the Gilbert Burns fight. They mentioned that other fight against that random dude. And JDM went in there. I get it. It wasn't early. But he still defended hella takedowns from one of the best wrestlers in the sport. I get it wasn't round 1 or 2, but it was deep into the fight. And you guys were worried about the Burns stuff.
Do we not agree that like it is important to establish like your fight? Like there is a such thing as a flow state, regardless of what that is, right? Regardless of like what that is, like we can agree, like in general MMA, there's a such thing as a flow state, and once a fighter is in their flow state, it's a lot harder to beat them than when it's early and you can actually like stop them from getting into that flow state. We can agree on that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What I'm saying is, he let JDM get all the way into his flow state, and then even still did not even come out in round 2 and 3, like, okay, I'm gonna actually have a dedicated wrestling attack now. He should have started it way earlier, but like, let's say like they split rounds 1 and 2 because have one of those rounds is like JDM defending takedowns, but just getting mushed up against the cage for most of the round. Like, now the fight looks different. Now JDM's not even in his flow state as much. Like, I don't know, bro. It's just like, I give him credit for defending the takedowns that he did, but like half of those takedowns weren't even deep in. It's because he was at distance, just kind of like, oh, I'm getting punched in the face. Let me just reach for a leg haphazardly get into a little loose ass clinch that JDM just kind of spun out of, and like, okay, fine, I'm back to the boxing. Like, oh, I tried. Like, Below looked like shit, bro.
You guys are acting like it's just you could just snap and shoot for an elite takedown. You guys are acting like that's just an easy thing to do. And your flow state thing, like JDM just imposed his will more than Belal did. That's how fights go.
No, look at
He did. But what I'm saying is like a lot of that is on the strat of Belal, though. That's the thing. He outboxed Belal for most of that fight, right? We all agree that he would have outboxed Belal if they were striking. Like, basically, what I'm saying is like you're giving him credit for You're simultaneously saying we doubted JDM hella, right? Mm-hmm. And that like JDM beat him where we also said that he would the whole fucking time. So it's like you're acting like we're not giving him credit. But all we're saying is that he did what he was expected to do if the fight played out how it did. You get what I'm saying? Like that's why I'm not giving him more credit. It's like because I am giving him credit for winning the fight, obviously, but it's like he didn't win it in the way that like would have impressed me. He won it in the way that I would have expected. Like if he would have lost to Belal on the striking, I would have been talking so much shit. But like the thing is like. He won primarily a boxing fight with
He won a
Belal.
boxing
Primarily,
match. Ed.
exactly.
He shot 9 takedowns. He shot a takedown in every round.
And I actually feel like those numbers are so fake. Like
Inflated,
I'm
bro.
gonna have to
They're
rewatch that
not.
whole fight. Like
I swear to me, he was 2 for 7, and three of those takedowns was not even real, bro. They were like a bullshit little like it was not much, bro. It was not a dedicated. It was like Belal didn't want to waste energy wrestling or some shit. To be honest, like that's
Maybe
what
that
it
was
felt like
part
to
of it
me,
too,
bro.
bro. He was getting pieced up. Like shots take a lot of energy to take. My whole thing is you guys were so hard on the Gilbert Burns stuff and him getting wrestle fucked by Belal, and then it doesn't happen, and now there's some like caveat.
because
Was he trying that much, Ed? Oh my
Yes, he
god.
was trying. It's a world title fight. He's trying just because, dude. He shot 9 takedowns. I guess he could have shot more earlier, but like, who's to say that he would have completed them?
were these some phantom
He
takedowns?
didn't try. He
Like,
didn't
what were
try.
these?
That's what I'm saying.
I
If you were his
guess.
coach, Ed, would you have been happy with his performance, Belal?
Um,
Were you like that was the game plan, Belal, that
See,
we
that's
fucking
what I
throw up to
mean.
beat JDM?
but maybe he tried to impose his game plan and it just didn't work out. Like I feel like you
We
guys are just
saw him
saying
not try. We saw him
he
not
shot
try.
9 takedowns
When?
throughout the. He shot a shot every single round. I promise you guys go rewatch the fight.
I will rewatch and I will think about it. But all I'm gonna say is, whenever he pressured JDM against the cage at times, he just
Where was the
wouldn't shoot.
takedown? Where was the
He
takedown, bro?
does.
Where was the clinch?
Like,
Like, where was anything, bro?
I
Like,
just
I mean,
felt like
he
it
did
was a
clinch and he kept
lapse.
getting reversed on the fence. JDM's ground game improved. That's another thing. JDM's ground game improved so much from the Gilbert Burns fight to this fight. You got to give him credit for that.
I agree. 100%.
I agree.
I agree.
I said that.
I said I
He's
fucking hope
definitely
he
gotten
did.
better, but
I
he
said I
just
hope he
wasn't
did.
tested enough.
That's what happens when fighters are young and like in their 20s, Ed. They make drastic improvements like between fights. That's the beauty, right? That's the beauty of being in your 20s, right? But at the end of the day, like, did Belal fucking shit the bed? Like, two things can be true. JDM fought an amazing fight and Belal shit the bed. Like, but like, they don't have to be simultaneous. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. You know what I mean? Like, two things are true. Like, JDM he fought a great fight. He fought his fight. He made sure the fight stayed where he was best. But like, also, did Belal try his best to get the fight where he is best? No. Did he try to sap his energy with grappling like he's done every other time? I think it's this. Every other fight Belal has fought recently is the same thing. We know what we're gonna get from him, and the one time where he actually has a matchup on paper, at least tailor made for his particular style to work, he doesn't implement it, and it's like I gotta ding him for that, not ding JDM for winning the fight. Why would he want Belal to wrestle more? I'm sure he's happy with how it played out, but I'm just saying, like, as a not even Belal supporter, but as like a person who took Belal, you're acting like we backed Belal to lose a goddamn boxing match against him, which is like all he proved is that
It wasn't just a boxing match, though. It wasn't.
It was
You guys are
90%.
just.
It was
How
90%
much
of
of the
one.
fight was on the feet?
I don't know.
90% of it was.
But that's not just because Bilal's like an idiot. Like that has something to do with JDM.
Something, but like, was Belal not an idiot? Are you saying Belal fought a smart fight? Is that what you're saying, Ed?
I mean, after round 3, 4, and 5, I thought he fought his fight. He was shooting, pressing him. Round 1 and 2 were really close rounds on the feet. So like, I don't know. I just think you guys are discrediting him. Hella.
We weren't seeing the same fight. I mean, JDM was styling on him the first few rounds. Like he was playing right into JDM's hands at range. I'll say this: JDM's lateral movement
yeah,
and just his distance control
Staying
was
off the
good
cage,
for
impressive.
Belal not to shoot the takedowns.
Facts.
But my issue is we didn't start early in the fight to shoot for the takedowns. We didn't establish any of that presence. Can you, like, honestly, Ed?
Yeah, sure.
Like, he didn't do that. Like, he wanted to strike with him. And JDM got early up on the scorecards, and Belal had to work his way back and implement a like C a C plus version of his game plan like midway through the third. Like
It's just you guys are acting like, okay, if he did what he did against Leon, he just automatically wins the fight. That's what it sounds like you guys are saying, and I think that's bullshit.
no, Ed. I just wanted to see that. I'm not like I believe JDM is up for the test for sure. But I just wish I saw that. Like I saw a boxing match. That's what it was. There was barely any kicks thrown. Like it was literally a boxing match going on in there.
I mean, if
it
they
was very
rematch, I'm taking
entertaining.
JDM again.
It's one of the. It might be the best
I would too at this point.
title fight ever. It was great.
I would too at this point, Ed. I would too because he fought like shit, and like honestly, it's the kind of like performance that just it makes it like ill inspiring. You know what I mean? Like okay, if Belal was gonna train with Khabib and Khabib was gonna be in his corner, I would take Belal 8 times out of 10. But like with whoever he's training with, like in Chicago and shit, like fucking whatever he did this camp, if he repeats that, bro, he's gonna lose again, bro. Probably worse. Probably worse. Honestly, probably worse.
I think also age is playing a factor into this. People forget that. I mean, like Bilal's old also.
It's the same, okay. It's the same thing like this. Okay, remember when Usman fought Leon the third time, and we're like, what is this strat? We're like, what is this strat?
It wasn't the strat. It wasn't so much a strat. He just looked. You guys were just saying he looked washed. It was nothing about his strat. He shot
exactly. But I'm saying like, and then he came back a following fight against Hamza and
almost beats him
and look a lot better, right? I'm just saying like, so I'm saying like. A person can have an off night, and like yes, like you said, age is probably a factor. Like we've seen it where these fighters get a little older and they stop fucking wrestling how they fucking have. That got them to the dance, like. But at the same time, when you're predicting a fight, right? If I'm predicting Usman Leon 3, I'm going to say yeah, Usman probably gonna wrestle him when they get in there, and that's not like what we expect. Okay, like when the fight doesn't play out how we expect. Then it's like okay, like that has to be addressed in the assessment of the fight as a whole. Like that's all we're saying. We're not trying to shit on JDM. We're just saying like was that the Belal that we expected? It was not. It was not.
But the whole we didn't learn anything from this fight is crazy. That is insane.
I didn't say we didn't learn anything, but I'm just saying like there are questions answered. There are questions that went unanswered. What is JDM gonna do against a dedicated grappling attack? That is not what we saw. At bare minimum, can you agree with that? We did not see a dedicated grappling attack.
What are these other guys gonna do against JDM? It's not just like a one-way traffic. Islam's a bit different because it's fucking Islam. That's a little different, but these welterweights, like it's just like, oh, we're just gonna take
JDM. We're just gonna tell you what he's gonna do.
We're just gonna take JDM because we want to. That's our game plan. And it's just gonna happen. That's just not how MMA works.
Okay, to this point though, Ed, you cannot lie. That's exactly what's worked against JDM. Can you disagree?
Yeah, and he's a new fighter. He's evolving constantly. He brought in Craig Jones.
I'm saying, okay, exactly. And right now with this as like the last fight. Okay, like now I have to rate his takedown defense higher. He's clearly not a can in the takedown defense anymore. We can say that, like that's an improvement that he's made. Now, is it enough for me to back him against an Islam level grappler or a fighter that is going to be as dedicated as a Khabib coached fighter in the grappling? No, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, but that's so specific.
I'm saying, but had Belal shot a lot more takedowns in this fight, and the same thing would have happened. All I'm saying is that I would have a much clearer picture of like, okay, how the Islam fight might play out differently. Like right now, I still do not know because like what I didn't like the strat that Islam's gonna implement. I would imagine is not what I just saw Belal do. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Like so, I'm saying I just still have questions. Like I'm not saying that JDM did not improve. I just still have questions that are unanswered by that attack. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, that's fair. I get it. There's some unanswered questions, sure. Especially going into an Islam fight. That adds a lot to it.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Like, do I think that JDM could? I don't think that any Joe Schmo MMA fighter with basic takedown skills can just wrestle fuck him. You know what I'm saying? I don't even rate Gilbert Burns' takedowns that highly, to be honest. But and just considering how I rate um Gilbert Burns'
Wow.
takedowns and what he was able to do, like my assumptions about this fight, I still feel are valid, and I feel like us picking the fight to go how we thought it was gonna go, how history has suggested this fight would go, makes sense. And the fact that JDM won, despite the fact that JDM won this fight is impressive, but the fact that it was not fought the way we expected the fight to be fought has to be a part of the assessment. That's all I'm saying. Like, no one's trying to shit on JDM, man. Don't like, you know what I'm saying, get that defensive. Like, we're not trying to shit on your boy or nothing. It's just like, I'm just saying I have questions, like you said, especially going into an Islam fight.
No, that's fair. We'll just have to agree to disagree on this one, boys. It's all good. But let's move on to that because that is the big other thing that happened. We got basically 2 fights confirmed: JDM versus Islam and Taporia versus Oliveira. We're gonna stick with the JDM stuff here. Listen, obviously you pick. I would probably pick Islam too. I get it. He's pound for pound #1 in the world, but he ain't running through JDM, bro. He ain't running through him. Can we agree on that?
And if he gets the first takedown, he's running through
It
him.
could
I mean,
get bad, bro.
I saw a guy that struggled to take down Poirier and Volkanovski, and now he's
That's
moving up
true.
fighting a much. JDM's bigger than Islam. He's the biggest opponent Islam's ever faced. He's probably the best striker he's ever faced. And based on what I'm seeing, this takedown defense, he's going to cause some problems for Islam. I do not see Islam running through JDM whatsoever.
This is
I
what
totally
I'll
get if you picked him.
say. Ed, Makachev does different kinds of takedowns than Belal does. Like, he'll go for more body locks, inside trips.
Like some clinch shit. Like Islam's a clinch merchant. That's the thing. Like that's the thing. Like Bilal is way more of a back you up, like with his little fake ass boxing, back you up against the cage, shoot a
And
fucking
shoot.
double leg.
Yeah.
Islam's way more, let me just clinch you up, hold you, which obviously plays to his strength, saps the striking of JDM more so. And I think that he should just be able to, like, even if JDM is like against the cage type shit, and his takedown defense is technically holding up, I just think a lot of that saps your energy and makes you not as crispy in the striking. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, I just think that the approach is gonna be a lot different. And you know how Papa Khabib is gonna be in that fucking corner, bro. If he gets popped with like one too many shots and he gets to the fucking corner, even if he wins the round, what's Khabib gonna be doing? On his fucking ass. Russell, 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 fuck are you doing? If you don't fucking listen to me, I will leave this corner. Russell, like, Khabib has these fucking fighters on a goddamn string, okay? He has them fucking locked the fuck in, and clearly Bilal was not locked the fuck in, so that's all I'm saying.
It's all good. It's all good in JDMville over here.
It's beautiful, man. You got a nice little one-off title. I think he will get another one. That very much proved this. Because like we said, we all said that JDM has championship potential. We just thought that this was a bit too much too soon. I still think that at 28, he could still lose to Islam. Islam's already 30, what, 34? 33, 34? Like, he's not going to have the longest reign at welterweight type shit in my mind. So it's like, I still think that JDM has a lot of time to still regain the title. I imagine he will at some point in his career. He's clearly making strides. You know what I mean? Like it's like it's like damn near like OKC type shit. Like if OKC wins the chip this year, it's like yeah, we all knew that they were impressive. Everyone kind of thought that it was a like you know what I mean. They're on the trajectory, but sometimes a fighter and sometimes a team, you know what I mean, like out jumps their goddamn timeline, and that's what we saw here. Like JDM clearly improved faster than we thought, and we have to give him credit for that. So I think he will be back regardless of what happens against Islam. To be honest,
He'll be fine, Ed. He's young.
Well, you guys are just acting like it's over already. You guys are crazy. But I think also
Well-
really.
Well, I mean, it's really over for both of them. One Shav guy gets heel dog.
Like to steal the draft. All right, guys. Let's move on to the co-main event. Pretty interesting fight. Very competitive. Valentina Shevchenko retains her flyweight title. Beats Manon Fiorot.
Did she though?
War signing his violin right now. I swear.
Would y'all have that scored, by the way? Did she win that fight? It was close.
It was close. I think I had a 3-2 Valentina, but like I wouldn't call it a robbery either way.
No, I agree.
Yeah, I thought it was a good fight. I thought Fiorot got kind of screwed early with the whole like nose thing, but she still imposed her will. And it was pretty tough to gauge where Valentina was going to be at because she just had that trilogy with Grasso. Very mixed things happening in those 3 fights. But she comes in here with a fresh game opponent that everyone, including us, was very high on, pretty high on. Knew it was going to be a big challenge for Valentina, and she wins. And you could just tell after the fight that she won, like the vibe. Her hands were in the air. Fury out looked kind of fucked up, but still a great fight. What did you guys think?
I thought that it was a close fucking fight, like you said. I scored it 1, 3, and 4 for Shevchenko, and 4 was the pivotal round where I think that Furia was kind of winning, and then that knockdown happened late and kind of like really swung the round for sure to Valentina. I thought that that's kind of where that was the deciding factor in this fight. That knockdown, I feel like, and it was also the biggest moment in the fight, like by far. So that made her alone like deserve to win the round. I thought that Valentina's round 1 and 4 were the most dominant rounds of the fight, whereas a lot of the Ferro rounds that she won was way more just based on just being big and kind of just out clinching and out muscling Shevchenko against the cage largely, which is not an inspiring way to win a fight, especially like against such a dominant champion. Like no one's gonna like the judges are typically not gonna give you a fight like that type shit. Especially like when the 3 toss up rounds. If there's 3 toss up rounds and like the other person has 2 dominant rounds, like the chances that a person's gonna get, even if they technically did a little bit more, the chances a person's gonna win 3 toss up rounds is kind of like unrealistic to expect. So yeah, I just thought that Shevchenko looked good out there. I thought that the early nose break or nose injury that Shevchenko landed in round 1 really kind of set the pace, set the tone for the fight, and I think that it kind of made it so Ferro kind of took longer to get into to work her way into the fight, get into her flow state. I would never say she got into a flow state particularly, but I guess just work her way into the fight with the clinch and shit. I think that had she not landed that nose strike, the fight would have been a lot more close. And Ferro might have had enough just clinch success and just physicality success to just like eck out a close decision. But instead, because Shevchenko had the big moments and the 2 dominant rounds, like I mean, you had to give it to her. I felt like I was
Yeah, what's up?
I was impressed to see Shevchenko actually win this fight through the striking.
Been a
Where
minute.
it's been a minute, man, and like she showed that she still has that in the goddamn toolbox. I was kind of disappointed with Manon Ferro striking. I thought she was gonna have a lot more success in the striking department. I thought it was gonna be closer contested on the feet. I thought she was gonna have like a bit of a power edge, and I honestly thought that because I have not seen Valentina eat shots the best recently, she was gonna. I thought that Ferro was gonna eat the shots better than Valentina, which did not end up being the case at all. Um, I feel like there was a many a time where Shevchenko would land on Ferro and like she would kind of freeze or kind of show like visible, like taking a visible step back or like you know what I mean, a visible need to reset. And I mean that was just a testament to the goat that Shevchenko is, man. Shout out to her. I thought that Ferro didn't fight her fight, but she did the best that she could considering how the fight started and how it was going early. She pivoted and like actually implemented a game plan that almost worked for her. And she was actually able to stymie Shevchenko in the clinch a lot better. Her size and strength advantage was very apparent. So yeah, I mean, I didn't think she fought a bad fight. I just thought that Shevchenko just did a little bit more, and show why she's been reigning this division for so long.
Yeah, I had Shevchenko winning the fight. I gave her, what I give her? 1, 4, and 5. I had Furio winning those middle rounds, 2 and 3. Um, and I think the knockdown might have saved her the title fight if I don't say so myself. Team Clark takes two big L's, 0-2 on the night. Um, yeah, early on looked like Shevchenko was cruising. Looked like in the first round, Furiat didn't have a lot for her whatsoever. Is very reminiscent of Whaley versus Suarez. How the young contender comes in to try to beat one of the GOATs. And, it was looking like it was going to be that kind of fight all over again. But credit to Furiat, she fought her way back in the fight. Kind of a just dirty boxing, pin her against the fence, knees. Dude, it wasn't the most entertaining, no. But she did what she had to do to get back in the fight, showed good grit. But Valentina was just too much for her on the beat. Had great combos. I wish she threw a little more. I thought she was a little too hesitant at times. Maybe she was worried about the takedowns a little bit by that point, but I wish she did a little more on the feet because I do feel like she had a big advantage. I was surprised about that advantage though. I mean, I've seen Furia look a lot more just cleaner than what she showed in that fight. I mean, it was kind of amateurish, I felt at times, the way she was striking, and I've just not seen her look that bad, especially with her kickboxing background. So I don't know what that was, but Shevchenko looked great. Definitely just had the bigger moments in the fight, especially the knockdown in the fourth. Um, and I think that's why she won the fight. I think round by round wise, you could definitely give it to Furiat based on how the fight fought out. A lot on the fence, a lot of clinch work. But I will agree Shevchenko definitely had the bigger moments and deserves to win the fight based on those bigger moments.
I'll also just say real quick, like I think that also like this is like kind of goes into like the imperfect subjective nature of judging in general. But I think that if the striking is pretty close, or like if a fight is contested in the clinch, and it kind of seems like one fighter is kind of implementing that clinch almost defensively because they don't like what's going on the feet, and then they don't have success with the takedowns. Particularly, I'm talking about round fucking what was it, 3, where Ferro was like over 5 for takedowns, but the striking was pretty close. They were even in significant strikes, but like she was like, yeah, she was getting the clinch, but like she was not having that much success in the clinch with like getting her down, where she was like kind of trying to do. I think that it kind of mentally, like the way when I'm watching fights too, it's like if I can tell, oh, one fighter doesn't want to be on the feet because they don't like how it's going for them, and they're not getting the takedown, even if they're like stalling in the clinch. I think a lot of those kind of like 50-50 rounds kind of tend to go to the person who was dominating in the striking in that like aspect, even if like the clinch is an equal part of that round, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I was just browsing through her resume. She's an absolute goat. Um, for what's next for her, there are two options: Natalia Silva or Weili Zhang. Respect to Silva, she looked nice out there, but fuck that. I want to see Weili versus Shevchenko, a banger women's champ versus champ fight. This card low key set up two champ fights, and these two women just seem perfect for each other. I feel like it's gonna be an epic, high paced fight. It's gonna bring the best out of both of them. Any early predictions for this women's super fight?
My girl Whaley takes it, man. My girl Whaley takes it. Why? Because she's the goddamn GOAT of women's MMA. I'm saying it now. Shout out to Amanda Nunes, man. Shout out to her, but like, I know a GOAT when I see one, bro. I know a GOAT when I see one, and Whaley is that bitch, bro. She's different in there. She's different in there. I think she has looked less washed in recent years. And even though Valentina has been doing enough to win a lot of these fights, we like the level of dominance has weaned over time, and the fights have gotten a lot closer. Whereas even though like she has like those Rose losses on her resume, 9 times out of 10, like when she's winning these fights, she's winning them very convincingly. Like she even put out even Yao Xiaonan. She had Yan had her moments in that fight, but like she actually put her out cold in round two. So like really, should that fight have even been going on that long? No, you know what I mean. So I don't know, man. I'm just gonna go with my girl Whaley, man. Like I might be a little biased, but like I just think that she has a little bit more. She has a little bit less mileage on her, even though they're both long-time champions and shit. They've been at the top of the sport for a long time, but I just think that she's a little more fresh, and I think that yeah, man, I just feel like her strength, even though she's like coming up in weight, I just feel like she's still strong as a fuck. And I think that like her strength is gonna surprise people in this fight.
Yeah, I would take Whaley to win that.
Yeah, I would have to agree.
I want to see Whaley versus Silva though. I like that matchup a lot better. I think that's a on the feet like massive striking battle. You see what we'll get to Silva soon, but I think Silva could take out Shevchenko if she did what she did to Grasso the other night.
It's not out the realm of possibility. That's for damn sure.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get there. We got one more fight before we get there, though. We got Jose Aldo versus Amin Sahabi. What an epic fight. Shout out Jose Aldo. He retired after this fight. Absolute GOAT of the sport.
Let me put a hat on just so I can tip my cap to him, okay? God damn it. Shout out fucking Jose Aldo, man. It was sad to see him go, but like I can't be that mad at him based on what I've seen. Sometimes just because a fighter can still fight in there doesn't mean that they should still fight in there, right? I think that Aldo was winning that fight until he basically just completely gassed out. And I think that a younger version of Aldo kind of handily wins that fight and does not gas out that way in round three. This is a man who is a consummate champion for so long, known for going 5 rounds several times. Always had good cardio throughout his career, and clearly that cardio was not there anymore. On top of that, he has kind of completely abandoned the leg kick aspect of his game, something that was a staple of his game in the past, which leads me to believe that that has to be due to probably some leg injuries piling up, him not just having confidence in the leg kicks anymore. And I mean, like the guy's like what pushing 40 at this point. Like as much of an ageless wonder as he's been, man, I think it's time. Could he stick around and beat a lot of guys, just be a gatekeeper? Yeah, but as a fighter who constantly said that he has title aspirations, I think that that's past Aldo at this point. And I would rather see him just ride off into the sunset than continue to fight and just deteriorate further and further into Tony Ferguson land. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy for him. Amazing career. He still went out. I would still not say at the top of his game, but like not at the bottom of his game. He didn't let the sport too much pass him by. I think this is a dignified fight to go out on. Really close. You could argue he won rounds 1 and 2. So, I mean, I thought that he still could be getting that decision, even considering how close it was. So yeah, I mean, shouts out to him, legend of the sport, and I mean, it's sad to see him go, but I'm happy to see him walk away.
Yeah, it was a great fight. Very much back and forth late. Shout out to Aldo, one of the greats in the game, one of the best featherweights ever. Just a really good fighter overall. Good guy. Just elite guy. And sad that he's gone now. But looking at the fight itself, I don't know how you guys had it scored, but I think they could have considered it giving to Aldo. Very close,
I
but
had 1 and 2 for Aldo, and I've had round three would have been a 10-8 if not for the fact that Aldo had the early success and like knocked him down and had him almost finished early. So because of that, I gave that a 10-9 to Zahabi, and I had it like 29-28 for Aldo. But I understand giving Zahabi round two as well. Like it was pretty.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And Zahabi did well to press Aldo after kind of a struggle first round. I thought Aldo was definitely on him, was pumping out the jab well, was kind of the faster guy. I felt like at full strength.
Definitely.
Um, the
Just
more
the
the
cardio.
fight,
It's the cardio.
yeah, the
Yeah.
cardio just seemed to weem. The second round was very close, where I felt like Aldo was kind of doing his work, and then towards the end, Zahabi was gaining confidence. And you know what I say? Once these judges see the last minute 30 go well for one guy, they're most likely going to take him. So, and then that third round, though, I was so mad. I had the under 2.5, literally in the parlay. It literally, I don't know how this man Zahabi got up from that kick, but somehow he just survived that. Aldo completely gasses, and then
Stopped it. Herb would have stopped it, man. That's why these fucking refs matter. I swear. I say it every time.
They matter.
Zahabi just goes on to take him down. But he could have finished for the under 2.5. He could have finished as well on the feet. I swear, Aldo was a few body shots away to probably going down. And Zahabi chose to wrestle, but it was smart. Got him to the ground. I mean, Zahabi was also super gassed at that point, or maybe dazed and confused. I don't know, but he seemed pretty gassed as well. Definitely, I mean, if he had more energy, he probably would have finished in the third after that knockdown. But, big up on Zahabi, though. It was a very nice comeback. He was definitely down in that fight.
Biggest
Yeah.
one of his. Biggest one of
Oh,
his.
for sure. Yeah,
I-
Zahabi's on a pretty nice streak here.
Yeah, he is, man. I think he's like 38 though. But I think
He is.
he's not he doesn't have the MMA miles on him. Like he's like a younger 38, if you can say that. You know what I mean? He hasn't been in the wars that a lot of these 38-year-old fighters have been in. Hasn't fought the level of comp. Like this was obviously by far the best win of his career, biggest name value win of his career. I don't know how far he can make it up the ranks, but I mean, I'm interested to see his next fight. That's for damn sure. I thought that this fight would have been stopped twice by her. Like he would have stopped it on the kick by Aldo. He would have stopped when Aldo was getting ground and pounded with those elbows. Like
He would have stopped.
I thought that. I mean, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like these fucking these not these judges too, but these refs play such a pivotal role in these fights, bro. And fights like this really just display that. Sometimes you can let a fighter grit through, and this is what I'm saying. I always err on the side of roughing fights like this rather than stopping them early. Even though I get it, you have to protect the fighters from themselves, but if they have a fighting chance, I think you just have to you owe it to them to give them that chance to fight, man. They
For sure.
waste months out of their lives, pay thousands and thousands of dollars to train nutritionists to get themselves in the best possible condition to have this fight. Most of these fighters actually rely on their win bonuses too. They get 50% less money if they fucking lose. So it's there's a lot on the goddamn line, especially when you get into ranked fights, especially which this is a low level ranked fight, but especially a Bahio Cannonier type fight, a fight that's at the upper echelon of a division. You have to let these fights go on, and I'm glad to see that this fight, even though it fucks you, Clark, but in general, I would prefer to see fights ref this way and letting people kind of go out on their shield rather than stop them early, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely. And yeah, sure, that fight could have been stopped by Zahabi, but Aldo made it perfectly fine to the finish line, and he didn't get the decision, but he could have. It was a close fight. And one quick thing on that: the worst example I've seen of that, at least recently, is Izzy versus Pereira 1. That is still such a terrible stoppage to me.
The man had the fight fucking won if he survives another minute. You have to let him go out, bro. It's a title fight, bro.
Yeah, I mean that did wonders for the UFC brand because of Pereira, but that was a tough one.
I was betting on Pereira. I saw Izzy's head down, man. It was amazing.
I saw him still there rope-a-doping, bro, I swear. Now, there's a good chance that one more clean shot he would have went out cold.
That's what I mean.
Who's to say that shot would have landed and that Izzy couldn't have survived another minute? You know what I mean? What if he goes to the ground a little bit, and what is Pereira gonna get on top of him and ground and pound him out? I trust Izzy on the ground to be able to in the guard survive a fucking minute and a half, bro. I don't know, bro. You just gotta let these things play out. But yeah, that is a nice pull, Ed, on like an egregious fucking example of that for sure.
All right, though, guys. Let's move on to women's flyweight. Clark, why don't you start with this one? Natalia Silva gets a pretty convincing, easy dub over Alexa Grasso, former champ. Talk to me, bro.
I think she's getting the title shot, honestly. Unless Whaley comes up. But I feel like Whaley's going to stay down a little bit longer.
Why?
Well, I mean,
Why do you
she
feel
would have been in the title fight right now.
I think that we've all been saying that like Man and Furia deserve the shot. You've been crying that for so long. When I've been preaching, I've been wanting this double fight. You're like, she has to fight Furia. She has to fight Furia. She fought Furia. The way you're fucking acting, Clark, there's always gonna be a contender emerging. So it's like, bro, it's the same
Well,
thing.
why
Like,
hasn't she said
it's
it?
the same thing. Like we know that like Silva deserves the fight in her division the same way we know that Shavkat deserves the fight in his division. But sometimes
She can wait.
sometimes you gotta fucking get in line, bro.
I think she wants to stay down right now
The
for
same
some
time Shavkat
reason.
has to get in line is the same way she has to get in line, man. Okay,
And she'll get the next shot.
she'll get the next shot
No,
at the
for sure. I just don't know if she'll move up. That's all. That's all. I don't know if Whaley will move up right now, and I feel like Silva's next up.
It has to be now.
Oh, and maybe it will. And maybe it will.
What are we gonna Mayweather Pacquiao this for no reason? Like,
The Mayweather Pacquiao, the Shevchenko Zhang fight.
I mean, it's already damn near that right now. Like, they're already probably both. I would argue a little bit past prime, both of them.
I would agree.
So more so Shevchenko than Whaley, but still, like, this is like on the back end of their prime. So I'm just saying, like, let's do it now. Like, the more that we wait, the more when Whaley wins, there's gonna be an excuse of Shevchenko's age. So I'm just saying, we have to run this now, bro. We have to run it now. I'm sorry, Clark.
Was Pacquiao the younger fighter, by the way?
You said what?
Who was the older fighter
Shevchenko.
between Pacquiao, Mayweather?
I think Mayweather.
Probably Mayweather a little bit, slightly.
Older?
I think so.
I think he's slightly older.
I hate to.
The GOAT did what he did, man. He
Fuck that.
went out there at an older age and still beat them. Like,
Hey, labrum. You ever heard of it,
We're
Clark?
not getting into this.
It's kind of hard to
No.
box with the torn labrum, Clark.
oh, best defense ever. Undefeated.
Back to fucking Silva fucking rock. Where you get me worked up.
Silva, I mean, there's not much to say here. Silva just, honestly, low-key ran through Grasso.
I will
the
say
kicks-
this. Though. I will say this. In the lead up to the fight, I did say that the fact that this was a 3-rounder does play a lot more into Silva's hands. And I think that kind of showed towards the end of the fight. Silva was kind of gassing, which like you can't really like. She wasn't gassing hella, but like you could see that Grasso was starting to have more success and kind of those dangerous combinations with the hands, that dangerous power with the boxing was getting a lot closer. The movement slowed, which is like you can't like shuffle around for 15 minutes and expect like the cardio to be 100% there. And I think that were this fight 5 rounds, Grasso would have probably found a chance at a finish, even though I think she still would have lost a decision. But I think that the chance at a finish would have presented itself more so. So I mean, like, while I'm impressed with Silva, like the cardio, like, if she's gonna fight like that, I'm saying like if that's gonna be the strat, just all movement based and outside counters kind of striking, I just think that we have to address the fact that as impressive as she did look, that is a bit of a question mark when we start going 5 rounds against like the Shevchenkos of the world.
Especially if you integrate grappling.
Especially if you integrate grappling, especially if you integrate Grasso has much more of a boxing heavy attack, where Shevchenko has a lot more tools that she can use to like kind of like a lot more long range kicks and weapons that would have made that striking a lot more 50-50, I feel like.
But how is her
Even
chin?
60-40, even 60-40.
But how is Shevchenko's chin?
That's a good point.
That's fair.
But no, I like Silva, man. She's dope.
He's just crisp. Like, those spinning heel kicks were like money every time, somehow. Just money.
Yeah, and
for sure.
Grasso didn't look that bad. She just never really got going. She never really got into her range, honestly, and that's just like a testament to Silva's movement and outside striking. Silva would sting her with like a counter check left and then like get out of there, bro. A kick and I'm out of there. You know what I mean? She never let Grasso sit down and sit down on her punches. And you know we've seen a clear hole in Grasso's game now, where her boxing heavy attack, if you're not gonna stand in front of her, she has a bit of trouble closing that distance, and she's still young enough, I think, to work on that and maybe still make another title push in her career. But she's gonna have to work on that because I mean I think that the roadmap is kind of set and out there in terms of beating a Grasso. You know, you can either grapple her or strike from the outside. Both of those paths work. So she's got to get back to the drawing board. But I mean, she didn't look horrible out there. She would just look better.
For sure. Let's move on to the opening fight of the card. Not much to talk about here. BSD defeats Kyle Prevalek.
Look like shit. Look like shit.
Yeah, obviously, very short notice fight. BSD comes in at minus 1,600. Yeah, I want to more talk about less the fight. How did BSD look in there to you guys?
Like shit. Okay. First of all, I think that it's kind of a. I get why he kind of fought how he did. Realistically speaking, he had like so much to lose in this fight. And also we've seen him gas out before where he pushes such a blistering pace in round one, and if he can't get you out of there like he did against Poirier, it kind of came back to bite him. I think that we saw a BSD being very measured, being very tentative with his striking, especially considering that Kyle Prepolek literally looked like he had nothing for him on the feet, damn near.
Nothing.
He had nothing. I thought that BSD could have marched him down and very violently finished him very early, which is what I anticipated. I took the under 1.5, and like he literally by 4 seconds fucked me on that. By 4 fucking seconds. Just because he was being so patient, and like obviously the second he tried really he got the finish. The second I thought that he spent too much time not striking when he had Kyle's back in round one. He kind of just like let Kyle hold the glove and hold his wrist and just kind of like I don't know. He wasted a lot of fucking time in this fight. He looked like shit. That like he was not gonna beat many UFC caliber fighters fighting that way. I don't think. I don't know exactly what this Kyle Prepolek's like. I don't know how he'd do against UFC like unranked fighter. I don't know if he's even of that level, to be honest, but I just was not impressed with BSD. I thought that he should have ran over this guy and kind of he could have used this as a chance to get his hype train back on track. Instead, he kind of went out kind of quiet. He got like a quiet submission, which I mean he got the finish. We got to give him props for that, but like still. Like, you're supposed to run over this guy if you want to regain some of the hype that he had, and I don't think that this fight did very much in terms of reestablishing the hype that he had. So, I was disappointed with him. Shout out Kyle Prepolek for fucking stepping up in front of the Canadian fans, hometown fans, man. That had to be amazing for him, and he didn't even get his ass beat for it, which is like, props to him. But, like, BSD looked like shit out there, and, like, I will not be picking him if he's going to fight like that going forward.
I mean, BSD dominated the fight. I mean,
Quietly, though.
quietly, but I will say first round, I thought he should have been like making a little bigger movements of fighting with the left hand of Probolek, which was keeping his glove down. He should have been doing more there. But I mean, I really was tricked. I thought looking at this man Probolek's resume, barely getting to any decisions. I mean, well, we see why, but I really thought he just had more, like, on the feet, even. But I feel like this man had next to nothing in that fight. And I was surprised BSD didn't want to strike with him more. He's fought better strikers. he's knocked out better strikers. I feel like he's just lost his confidence a little bit, but I think getting the submission definitely has boosted him. He's
I think
still
it's also a risk reward thing. Like if you lose to this guy, it's fucked for you. So like I think that you have to be a little more careful. It's kind of like when John Jones stepped in to fight OSP on short notice and shit, and it's like, yeah, I didn't train for OSP. We know that OSP kind of shit. Like we know that if like at his best, John Jones will probably beat the shit out of OSP, but sometimes you have to be a little more cautious when you have so much more to lose than your opponent. And so I guess that's kind of part of why I'm gonna give him not a pass here, but I'm gonna give him a little understanding for why he wasn't a little more aggressive.
yeah, but he looked good. And he got a nice arm triangle off a transition. I mean, once they got back to the V in that second round, Propolette looked done. BSD, a little bit of a gas out problem he's going to have to work on, but definitely had more in the tank than Probeleg was showing. Hit him with some nice body shots, got him down. Thought he was going to TKO him for a sec, but had a nice transition to an arm triangle. Fight's over. Probeleg probably is going to get cut next week. I don't see them keeping him, honestly. That's 0-3 in the UFC.
That is tough. That's definitely tough. But let's move on, guys. Pretty eventful prelims, actually. Anything you guys want to touch on? I'll start. I thought the Mike Malot's performance was pretty impressive. Obviously, after the Neil Magny thing, a lot of hype fell off, but this was just a really fun fight. Radix played like the evil American villain really well going into Canada, playing up the villain. I loved it. But Malott stood his ground, got the TKO finish. Really nice combo to finish Radix. And yeah, shout out Malott. I don't think he's going to be like a title challenger or anything, but I feel like he's a nice little, not prospect, but a guy to watch out for at welterweight.
He's good.
I mean, Canadian MMA is not, the biggest hotbed for success. So anytime that they get any forward momentum for any of their prospects, like that's a positive for them. Speaking of which, like this Jasmine Jasdavicius, man, she might be one of their best. She might be one of Canada's best hopes right now, to be honest.
She kind of mopped Andrade.
I mean,
I know Andrade hasn't been great, but she mopped her.
She mopped her. I think that the fact how she won, the dominance that she displayed, is more impressive than the fact that she got the win. I think we all expected her to get the win, but how she kind of, like you said, ran through Andrade, who's ranked ahead of her. That she's gonna take the 7th spot from Andrade. I mean, that's huge for her and her form momentum. How are we feeling about Andrade? Is it time for her to hang it up, or I mean, she's so young. I think she just needs to cut back down to 115. I think that she's just kind of being lazy with the weight cut, bro.
100%.
She's just being lazy at this point. She's kind of in it for paydays. It seems like if she had, and the thing is, she's so young. Like as much as I want to say she's washed, she's so young, and it kind of just seems more like the sport passed her by than anything else. I mean, she always is gonna have that power. She's always gonna flukily upset somebody because she just clips them. I think that and she also was a former champ, so no matter how bad it gets for her, I don't see her getting cut. I think it's gonna be up to her to kind of call it the same way like Tony Ferguson, who was not even a champion, got such a leeway. I think she's one of those fighters that she's always in interesting fights. She's a good name to build up up and coming fighters. So I think she's gonna have a place on the roster as long as she wants it, most likely. But how are we feeling about her? You think that it's time for her to call it or what?
I think it's more she got to move down. She's just way too tiny at this weight class. She's a tiny lady. And yeah, she's just getting mogged out there. She's getting outpointed or outgrappled in a lot of these fights at flyweight. I think she just got to move down.
That's well said. I like that little lady.
She's a little lady, man.
She's a tank, but she's just really short. She's just short.
Facts.
Yeah, but Jasmine looks 100% legit. I think she got a bright future in this division. Anything else you guys want to touch on the prelims?
Okay, I mean, we can kind of just run through most of it, man. Shout out Bukowskis for a goddamn robbery, baby. Oh my
That was a
god.
weird fight. Very weird fight.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought that I bet on him, so I was happy that I got the robbery, but I did think that Kutalaba did enough to win that fight.
Yeah, me too.
I thought that Bukowskis looked like the better fighter in there too. I just thought that he just didn't throw a lot enough. I thought he landed the bigger shots, had the bigger moments, but they were so few and far between. Um, I thought Kutalaba with his little like leg kicks and just chipping away type shots, like I thought he built such a lead on the numbers that like it would be kind of impossible to deny him the victory, but clearly the judges saw, well, two of them saw otherwise, man. Um, it was kind of crazy, honestly. But I don't think that he gained that much stock in that fight. He looked good out there, but he got to throw more. He looked like he was fighting scared out there. And yeah, robbery there. I wanted to touch on that. Shout out Kutalaba, man. I mean, get well soon and shit. Like he's okay physically, but I don't know if his pockets are okay because he definitely got robbed.
I'm looking at the strikes here. He doubled them basically.
That's
Over
what I'm
doubled them.
saying. That's what I'm saying. And like, granted, were most of those strikes significant? No, but like, you have to reward a fighter for actually trying, pushing for, and like throwing out there. I just don't like. Um, I don't like them rewarding inactivity. I think that when a fight is close, you have to reward activity, man. So yeah, I just don't agree with that. But shout out to him, man. He'll be back. He looked fine out there. Looked
Bad
impressive,
judging.
I guess. Yeah, bad judging, man. Like,
Yeah,
Like,
it's just
my thing is there's two 30-27s on there for both ways, and there's no way. I thought it was at least a 2-29-28. I watched it back. I had Kutalaba winning. I thought Bukakas won the first round, but yeah, like you said, Kutalaba just chipped away, put out more volume, should have won the fight.
good old Sal D'Amato, baby. Good old Sal
he's out
D'Amato.
there.
230-27 is crazy.
It's
We also
Yeah.
shout out Silva's health. Like, my God,
That
I
was,
thought that man was duns for in there.
and it was such a short elbow too.
Yeah,
shout out
it's
to him,
time
bro.
to hang it up for Silva. It's time to hang it up. Unfortunately, I think like
After that, I don't even want to see him lose anymore, man. I don't even
No.
want to see him lose out there anymore. Like he was just free money every time he fought, but like at this point, like you said, man, that was so bad. I was actually really worried for him. He did not move for a very long time. I think he was complaining about like his neck, I believe, some neck injury. Like, yeah, man, time to hang it up. It's not gonna get any better for him. So, I mean, shout out to him. He didn't have the best career, but I mean, he's been in some good scraps. He was always good for a interesting strap. He's a great first round merchant, but he is a gas out merchant, and I mean, I don't see that improving for him at this stage in the game. So, damn near time to hang it up. Another little fun moment for Canada, even though, which I mean, to be honest, they really like don't get a lot of these. Honestly, between Charles Jourdain, fucking like a lot of their fighters just seem to sell when they actually just get in front of the Canadian crowd a lot. So shout out them for getting a couple of dubs today that like let the Canadian fans vibe out a little bit and go home kind of happy, I guess.
Yeah.
A Canadian fighter that did not fucking win first fight of the night, Brad Katona finished for the first time in his career.
Tough.
Absolutely fucking chinned with an uppercut, man. Begzat looks fucking impressive, bro. I mean, he came in and looked impressive in his debut against Umar, one of the hardest like fighters you can debut against, and like the fact that he survived and like looked decent in there, and the fact that he's only 28. I mean, I'm pretty excited for what he can be. With full training camps and shit in the UFC. Clearly, he has power in his hands, and at bantamweight, that's kind of rare. To have like that kind of one punch KO power at bantamweight. So I think that can that along with like solid skills being from Kazakhstan, who, shout out to my boy Shavkat, has a good track record recently. I think Asu Amabayev also is from there. So, I mean, like, the Kazakhs are doing their fucking thing. And I think that this is another Kazakh name to watch out for in the bantamweight division going forward. So shout out to him. Shout out to Daniel Santos, who, like, against what I thought, he got the dub. Just kind of put a pace on Jiyoung Lee, who also looked good early, but clearly was gassing out more. And as I think Santos, if he kind of could settle into featherweight, he might be better suited up there. Just because the lack of a weight cut kind of like benefited him here. He had more cardio, and I think that we've seen that, like, a lot of the times that is what a fighter needs. Like, sometimes, like, being slightly undersized but having a cardio advantage and not having to drain yourself as much allows you to push a higher pace and thrive at a higher weight division. And coming in, I thought he was just being lazy. He had a lot of, like, visible body fat on him and shit. But I thought that was going to reflect on his cardio, and it absolutely didn't. So, shouts out to him. Fire to watch. And then last but not least, Navajo Sterling looked kind of shit.
Yeah.
I've been pretty high on Navajo Sterling, but mostly because there's not that many young prospects in the light heavyweight division. So, I mean, clearly he has some tools, but his game, he's going to need to really be brought along slowly here if he's going to thrive. He cannot be fast-tracked at all because he will get mopped up at the top of that division right now. If Urslan's fucking, doing that to him and making it that competitive, yeah, I don't think that he's going to do too well up the division unless he improves his cardio, especially. But he got a win, and nice little stepping stone fight for him. It's always interesting when a new contender emerges at light heavyweight, just because they rarely get them. Like, it's just an awkward body type. Like, it's a big guy to be like it's a big body type, and you don't find that many of them that are actually good. So when you have a quote unquote promising one like this, you have to, like, keep an eye out for him. And I mean, getting the win is all that really matters, and the experience. But he did look like a little shit in there, and he does need to tighten up if he wants to actually be something in this division. But that's about it.
Yeah, great. Pretty entertaining card overall.
Good.
We got some pretty interesting cards until the next pay-per-view, but, anything could happen. But anyways, guys, that concludes our UFC 313 recap.
Performance bonuses?
Oh, yeah, my bad. Let's everyone give out a performance of the night and a fight of the night.
Performance bonus, JDM. Fight of the night, probably the main event, I would say.
Either that or Aldo and Zahabi, but yeah, I agree.
Matter of fact, I'll go Aldo Zahabi fight of the night, just because, like you said, they both came close to finishing each other, and there was a lot of grit shown in that fight. I would say performance bonus JDM fight of the night, Zahabi, Aldo, and then performance bonus also. I thought that Silva, for how she looked against Grasso, that's a number one contender fight. I think that has to also factor in, where it's like, yeah, you can give, like, a lower level fight. These lower level fights are way more likely to be more exciting and shit, because they're going to be, like, closely contested, less technical, less careful. But, like, when you do look as good as Silva did against the number one ranked fighter in your division, I have to give that some credence. So I will give her a performance bonus as well.
Yeah, I'll go fight of the night, main event, performance night. I'll give it to Marc Andre.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go fight of the night, main event, performance of the night. I'm gonna go Mike Milan. I was very impressed.
All solid picks. This is a long one, but I hope you guys stuck around and enjoyed the convos. Thank you so much for the support on the TikTok. Please go check that out. And Make sure to look out for future videos, and we'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.